Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. So let me see how many people we have. We have 10. Oh, that's good. So it's not exactly 12:30 yet. So let's wait one more minute and I will get going. Please go ahead and mute your mic. You can leave your camera on. Otherwise, we're going to get a lot of echo. And then if you want to say something, you can unmute and say what you want. So it's good to see all of you virtually. You all look well. Some of you have your video off or don't have a video, which is okay. Can you hear me well? That's good. Okay, it's 12:30. Let's go ahead and get started. We almost have everybody. So I'm recording this and I will post it to Moodle at the end of each class. So if you need to, or if you were unable to come to the class, you can go and watch the recording. Good afternoon, everybody. This is the agenda for today. Oh, hold on, I'm not sharing, am I? So let me share my desktop. Okay, now you should see it. Coming up, week 1 agenda. Okay, very good. So welcome to CS240B. Zoom etiquette, I already said, please go ahead and mute your mic. You can leave your camera on. But I would like to emulate a classroom environment as much as possible. So if you have questions, please go ahead and ask questions along the way, just like we did in a classroom. CS240B is the capstone course for network and system administration. I know this is a system administration course, but it has a lot of networking built into it. And this is the capstone course, which basically means a lot of research. And we will talk more about this later on. I have some ideas. I'm open to ideas of your own. If there's something you would like to work on, I'm willing to listen. I'm not making any commitments. It really does need to meet the requirement of being a beefy, substantial resource project. So we don't really have a whole lot of content because I want to make sure you have time to do your research. And now we know this is going to be an online course. We're going to be doing presentation week 10. So there's no final exam. So week 10, Monday and Wednesday, we can do presentations. And if we have smaller number of teams, then we can do it all in one session. If we have more teams, then we can do it in 2 sessions, but we have ample time. Go ahead and log on to Moodle, everybody. If you haven't, please. So you should all have access to the Moodle Shell. And I don't think there's anything new here. You've all taken courses with me before. You've taken Moodle courses with me before, and I use the same structure. And this is week 0. And right now I have this student VMs and access info file hidden. I will enable it shortly here. These are the project ideas. We'll come back to this in a lot more detail on Wednesday. This is week 1. You download the assignment and you upload it by Sunday night. So there's an assignment for each week except for week 6. And they're always due on Sunday night, like we've always done. And I want to talk a little bit about this NOCTI test. This is a federally mandated test that graduating network and system administrator students have to take to show the federal government, the state government, and I don't know else that you're learning, that this is not a fake educational institution. This is a real educational institution and you're all learning. And usually this is a proctored exam that happens on site. And since this is an online course for the spring, I don't know what's going to happen here. So they may make an exception and say this year we're not going to do an OCTI. They may say we're going to do it, but you can do it from home. I really don't know. I've escalated this to my management team and I put it in their lap and I said, you guys need to make a decision. What are we doing here? And I don't know yet. And usually this is what we do instead of a mid-term exam. So for CS240B, we have no midterm, no final. We have assignments, and we have the final project. And we will see what happens here. I will keep you posted. Any questions on Moodle? Nothing new, right, everybody? Very familiar, that's good. Okay. Syllabus, so from Moodle, but you can let me open it up and I will share, I'm sharing with you. And I will go quickly over this because you've all seen it before. So this is the second of two course, Microsoft Windows Server System Administration course. B is the capstone. About half of it is research work. It does require 151. There's quite a bit of networking based on the project that you're going to be working on. This is the learner outcome, more into Active Directory, and we will dive deeper into Active Directory, group policy. We will talk about Hyper-V in a few minutes here. As far as grading, 8 assignments, 60%. NOTCI exam is not graded, so we don't factor it into the grade here, even though you do get a score, we don't factor it in. And we don't have participation because this is an online course. I'm delighted you're all here, but this is an online course, and the class project is 40%. Good, everybody? So it's not 50-50, but I wanted you to see that the class project is a substantial portion of this course because this is a capstone course. And you've seen this table before. I will start my classes on time. I will show up prepared. I will do labs. It's not just slide show. I do have office hours Tuesday, Thursday, 1 till 2. Just schedule it. Go to instructor's website and schedule a meeting with me, and we'll use the same Zoom link to link and talk. I will get back to you within 24 hours. I will grade within 3 days. Again, I want to stress this is an online course. Okay. You agree to attend all classes, not necessarily for this online course. And yes, definitely comply with college code of conduct, participate. It will probably take 4 hours or more, especially as you dive into your project. I've had students spend 200-300 hours working on their project. That's not to scare you. This is just to set expectation that the meat of this course is the project work you're going to do. And you will collaborate professionally with your fellow students. Academic honesty, we're all adults. Classroom conduct, we covered that. If you have a CFAR accommodation, please talk to me, and I will do all I can to help you out. Even if you don't have a CFAR accommodation, talk to me and I'll do what I can. And this is what we cover each week. I don't know what's going to happen with this NOTCI exam yet. May 25 is Memorial Day. It's a holiday. And we will do there is no final exam. There is no midterm exam. We will do the project presentations on week 10. Questions? If you do, go ahead, please. This is a good time to answer your questions. It's important to start with proper expectations from both ends, mine and yours.
Zico,
Go ahead.
are there projects individual?
It's an excellent question, Cece, and I really want to delay this until Wednesday.
Okay.
We have a lot to do today. I want to make sure that you can access your VMs today, and I want to focus today on that, and then we can talk about that on Wednesday. And just to answer your question, your excellent question, Cece, is I'm open.
Okay.
As you know, every office worker on planet Earth is working from home these days.
Yeah.
Okay, and not just office workers, but school not just higher education, K-12. My younger brother has younger kids. They do music lessons online. His daughter does dance lessons online. We have 2 dogs. My partner, Jarita, loves to do agility, and the agility instructor is doing agility online. So we are moving to an online environment, and we all have to become really good and comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And it's not a born skill. This is an acquired skill. So I want to encourage you to collaborate with one another, period. I've always stressed this, and now collaborate virtually online. But let's leave it till Wednesday, and then we'll see what you guys want. So I'm open, and it may end up being a hybrid, Kim, where some people work independently and some people work in teams.
All right. Thank you, Zico.
So let's leave it till Wednesday.
Okay.
Any questions on the syllabus? Anything we've covered in the syllabus? Okay. So I'm going to close this document, and let's come back here. All right. So plan A, when we found out that we're not going to be coming on campus for the spring, that we're going to be doing an online course, was to use the cat boxes, was to loan you a cat box. And we upgraded those cat boxes. All of them have 32 gig of RAM right now. All of them have 2 solid state drives now. So they should be much better than they were before, except the stay at home got in the way of that. Even if I or Cece want to go to school, we have to schedule it. We can't just, show up to school. We have to schedule it to show to school. And the school administration are strongly encouraging everyone to stay away from school, which is good, comply with the state and the CDC recommendations. So this plan A, loan everyone a cat box, wasn't going to work out. So I needed to come up with plan B. I have a younger brother who is a senior director at Infoblox. It's a high-tech company based in Santa Clara, California. And I was telling him my challenge, and he said, Zico, we have a private cloud that you can use. I will create a VDC, a virtual data center, instead of a physical data center. And then you can do whatever you want inside that virtual data center. And I said, how much is this going to cost me? And he said, nothing. You guys can use our private cloud for nothing. So this is what I've done, and I will show you all of this. And this private cloud, and as you know by now, we have 3 different kinds of cloud. We have a public cloud like Amazon Web Services, Azure, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, etc., where anyone can use it. There's a private cloud, which is a cloud that is accessible over the internet, but only for internal company purposes. So they move the data center into the cloud, but it still is a private data center. And then they have hybrid. So this is a private cloud, and it is a cluster, and it's an 8-node cluster, meaning they have 8 servers. They have 160 processors. They have 6 terabytes. Everyone keep your eye here. 6 terabyte on RAM. They have a 32 terabyte SAN. It's all solid state. And they have a 1 terabyte WAN access. And of course, this is their private cloud, so I'm not using all of it, but we're using what we need. So I want to show you what this looks like, and then I'm going to give you access to this is basically the focus for today, is to make sure that all of you can access your 4 VMs. So you can use them to do your assignments, your project, etc. So I'm going to come here, and this is in VMware. For those of you that are not familiar with VMware, is the 800-pound gorilla in the virtualization space. And you guys need to become somewhat comfortable with VMware. I wish we have space for a VMware course. I would love to teach a VMware course because they're the big player in this private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud business. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to log on to, and VMware Cloud Director is one of their many services. So VMware has this massive suite of applications. In fact, let's do this. I'm gonna do vmware.com. How about if I spell it right? And I'm gonna go to products, and I'm gonna go down to cloud management, and you can see vCloud Suite. Everybody, this is like a massive, massive suite of products that VMware has. And they all have to do with virtualization and cloud computing. And even if you're using Azure, even if you're using AWS, you may still have VMware as a front end. And then AWS becomes the back end, Azure becomes the back end. So let's come back here. So what they did for us is they created a virtual data center, and you all know what a data center is. And then they said, they gave me the keys, very kind, and they said, okay, this is your data center, do what you want. So this is sitting on this 8-node cluster I was telling you about. And then for each student, like Ella, she has 4 VMs. She has 2 Windows 2019, and don't let that scare you. It's gonna look and behave exactly like 2016 servers, and she has 2 Windows 10 workstations. And that's her ecosystem. And if you remember in CS240A, we ran Hyper-V and created all of this. And here, you know, we have 4 different VMs. And then for LXB, we have 4, and for LXN, we have 4, and for N, we have 4, and so on. And I'm gonna show you how to log on to the very first Windows server remotely, and then you can RDP into your other computers. Good, everybody? So we have 68 VMs. It took me quite a while to create, configure, tune. And 69 is a software router / firewall. And I will show you this guy right here. pfSense is a software-defined router, software-defined firewall that I use to enable you access to your RDPs. So let me give you access to this document. If you were to log on to Moodle, if you're not there yet, you're gonna need to do that. Go back to Moodle. And in week 0, I'm just gonna make this visible. So if you can hit F5, do you see CS240B student VMs and access info?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Then go ahead and click on it and download it. And it's this file. Okay. So this is what you have access to. And I want to explain what this is. But I wanted to show you the virtual data center first, so this would make sense. Anybody needs more time to download and open? Okay, so let's start with me. So I have 4 VMs, okay. I have 2 Windows Server 2019 and 2 Windows 10. And if I want to RDC, and let me get RDP out of the way. RDC is Remote Desktop Connection. This is the name of the application. RDP is the protocol that RDC uses. And people use those 2 terms interchangeably, and I may do that myself. So RDC is the application, RDP is the protocol. And RDP, the protocol, uses port 3389. And as you know, when we talk about ports, we have well-known, reserved, and ephemeral. And this is a reserved port number. So Microsoft paid and bought this 3389, and it is used exclusively with RDP. except all of us have to go through that firewall, and I can't have all of you use the same port number. Anyone that has done port forwarding knows that. So for every other server, I had to use a different port number and change the default port inside the computer from 3389 to something else. And when you create your Active Directory domain, this is the domain name I want you to use. And you can see 223344. So let's make sure we don't use someone else's domain name, because these are not BIOS domain names and we can't reuse it. So your domain name has to be unique, and they are unique. Just make sure you use it. So let's talk about Alex. LXB has 4 VMs, 2 Windows 2019 servers, and 2 Windows 10. And when he uses port 3392, remember the default is 89, but we can't use 89 for all these computers. So when he uses 3392, he's going to have access to this computer right here. And once he's inside, he can RDP into his other computers. And if I was to scroll down, and let's go over this together. So first, why 4 VMs for each student? It's because Hyper-V is not supported inside a VM. So in CS240A, we were using a physical operating system environment, and we could run Hyper-V and do whatever we wanted. Well, here, we have a VM, and Hyper-V is not supported inside another VM. You can install it and you can use it and it will work, except you're going to run into some network constraints. And I didn't want you to run into these network constraints, so I said, let's just create 4 VMs, which is more work for me, for each of you. But I wanted to explain why you're not just accessing a single server, and then you could install Hyper-V and create your VMs like we did in CS240A. Okay. Please remember the default passwords are class_123. You want to remember this, write it down. And one of the first things you want to do is you want to change your default password, or Zach would be able to access Alex's computer and Alex can access CC's computer, and we don't want that. Okay. So for Windows 10, could you please mute your phone, whoever is talking? Thank you. So for Windows 10, the default user is student, and this is the password. And for the servers, the default user is administrator, and this is the password. I would have done something different. However, the guys that created the VDC for me, they gave me these templates and I ran with it. I wasn't gonna go back and bug them a lot. And it's no big deal. And once you log on, you can do what you want. So how to access? You're gonna just watch me for now. So this is the Rdp Gateway. We talked about RDC being the application, RDP being the protocol. This is the gateway. And I have a shortcut, and let me show you how it's gonna work. So I'm gonna go to the Rdp Gateway. Okay, Spark View, another product. And I'm gonna log on, Zico. And then you have to decide, and then remote access, and then you have to decide which port you want to use, and you have to provide the gateway IP. And I want to show you what I did, everybody, because you're going to run into the same thing. So remote desktop, and when you click on the down arrow and you place the cursor inside, it's going to remember your IP, and it's 172.028. And then click on the down arrow again, and then you can specify whichever port you want. The default is 3389, but let's say I wanted to access CC, so CC is 3417. And then I'm going to put 3417. So far, so good. if you want to, you can put in the username and the password in here, or you can let the computer prompt you. I'm going to let the computer prompt me, and then I'm going to click on connect. And all of this is detailed in that document you have. Credentials, it's administrator. Remember, it's class 123, the default password. And I've logged on to CC Windows 2019-1. So let me do this, and then I want you to do it because I want to make sure all of you can do what I'm doing. But let me show you what I had to do to enable CC to use this 3394 port number. So if I was to go to the firewall, I couldn't, hold on. If I was to go to the firewall, I couldn't just rely on this application, remote desktop, to work for me because the default port number is 3389. And when I enable the remote desktop, it's enabling 3389, except we changed CC to a different port number. So I had to create a new rule. I ran my firewall. Okay, everybody, please be careful. This is my PC taskbar, and this is the VM taskbar. So don't confuse the two. I do this a lot. So just remember not to confuse the two. You see what I did is I created a rule for 3417. Otherwise, CC would have hit the firewall and wouldn't have been able to go through her firewall. So this is one thing I had to do to change the default 3389 to 3417. Thank you, sweetheart. And then the other thing I had to do is I had to go into regedit. Yep. And I know you're all familiar with regedit. Okay. And then I had to find the port number, and it's hidden down here. And then I had to change the default port number from 3389 to 3417. So this is all in scope of system administration. So this is not some weird thing I'm doing. This is a fairly common thing that people do. If you have two computers inside your house and you want to be able to RDC into these two computers inside your house, you will have to do exactly what I did on one of those two computers. Because you can only use 3389 to get you to one computer, and then you had to use a different port number to get to the other computer. Okay, so now I am inside. Where is CC's? CC's. Three, 4, 1, 7. Okay, very good. I'm really glad this happened, everybody. Do you see this error message down here? No access right, Java lang. You're going to see it because the session is going to time out. And all you really have to do to fix this problem is just come over here and hit F5 to restart the session. Let me see here. F5, and then redo it, and it will work. So I'm glad that happened because it's going to happen to you. but you're not going to be logging on every 5 minutes like I'm doing here. 3417. Connect. Okay. Administrator class 123. All right. And now I can RDC into my other two computers. So if I was CC, I would want to write those IPs down. Okay, 78, 76, 77, or she can print this piece of this file. These are her computers. This is her port number. So let's say I want to RDP into Windows Server 2, so that's 78. So I'm going to come over here and RDC. And this is the application, RDC. And 78 is what I want to connect to. And it's prompting me for the password. And this is second CC server. And then if I wanted to RDP into Windows 10, back to 2019 when RDC, and then select the IP address for that computer. And you can see the login is student. And this is here Windows 10 computer. Now for Windows Server, we have 32 gig of RAM, so they should work fairly well. For Windows 10, we have 4 gig of RAM because we have 68 VMs. And those guys were kind to give us resources. I wasn't going to use up all of their resources. And this is here Windows 10. So this is what I would like you to do, everybody. The last thing I want to show you, one more thing, please, is if I was to do lusermanager.msc, and I know you remember this, and if I was to go to users, you're going to find out in each of these computers you have a user called Zico. Please leave it alone. I need it. And if you were to go to groups and look at administrators, you will find Zico to be an administrator. And this is true for all 4 of your VMs. And I would really appreciate it if you leave those 4 accounts alone. I don't want to spy on you, but in order for me to see what you're doing, I need to have access to your computer, and I can't walk over and say, you know, Alex, show me what you're doing. But I can do this myself. So everybody, these are the instructions down here. So let me see. After you connect to your first Windows server, use remote desktop connection. Very good. When working with domains, when you get to that portion of your assignment, remember you need to change the DNS IP to your primary domain controller so you can resolve your domain name. The RDP sessions will terminate. I already showed you that. You will get that error message, and then you have to log back on.
Hey, Zico.
1 second, please. And really, really important, everybody, do not shut down your computer. I will get to you in just a second. Do not shut down your computer because this is not a physical computer. And if you do that, then send me an email because I have to go back to the VDC, to the virtual desk at virtual data center, and I have to turn that computer back on myself. You don't have that capability. So reboot, yes. Shut down, no. Go ahead.
So as far as for the user for the gateway inbox, you already set it up for us, or do we need to set it up ourselves?
It's all set up. In fact, let's do this. Everybody, do you see how to access your computer? Go ahead and do that. So minimize the Zoom window, everybody, and fire up your browser and copy this link. Remember, when you paste it, you're going to have 3 garbage characters at the very beginning for when. So go back to the very beginning of your URL and delete the garbage before H. And you may want to create a shortcut for it so you don't have to keep copying and pasting. And then follow the instructions. And remember your port number, so you don't log on to someone else's computer. LXB is 3392, Joe is 3393, Theron is 3394. And I want to thank Joey, Frank, and Bill for testing this environment for me. I needed to make sure it's working for others, not just me. So thank you, Joey. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Frank, for testing and giving me feedback and refining the instructions. And then tell me, everybody, please tell me if you're able to log on. And once you're there, run L user manager and change your administrator password. And I beg you, use your everyday password on all 4 of these VMs. That way, no one else can log on and you will remember what the password is. And go ahead and tell me. But I don't recognize everybody's voice. If you can tell me, you know, I am Joe and it's working. I know it's working for Joe because he already tested it. And I know it's working for Bill and for Frank.
Hey, Zico,
Yes.
to log into SparkView, is it first and last name or just first?
Let's go back to the instruction, Anne. Okay.
Because it looks like you used Zico for the username and password.
Yep, exactly.
But I tried it with just Anne for username and password and that didn't work.
No. It's Zico. Remember, it's an account. I don't have an account for Anne.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's all right.
Hey, Zico.
Yes.
Were you able to figure out a way to get the GPOs to allow RDP on the VMs? Because I was never able to get that to like actually populate. So I had to go into it as administrator and allow RDP on each individual VM.
So thank you for asking this question. So for the 3 other VMs, the firewall is enabled and RDP is enabled. And remember, once you're inside, we don't have to change the default port number for RDP. So it's 3389 for server 2, Windows 10.1, and Windows 10.2. So once you connect to your Windows 2019-1, once you connect to your primary server, you should be able to RDP into the other 3 computers. If you can't, let me know and we will fix it. But we don't have to play any games with the port numbers, nor do we have to create a specific rule for that new port number because we are using the default port number.
It wasn't the port numbers, it was for, per user. So I had to go in and for the test user
Thank you. I know what you're saying, Frank.
Oh, okay.
So let me put this in the parking for just a minute. Okay, I get it. Thank you. I get it. And I'm making a note so I don't forget. And I will answer that question for you. And that's an excellent one, Frank. So RDP with non-admin account. Okay, thank you, Frank. I think I have that on my agenda. So please tell me, everybody, were you able to connect?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I was able to connect.
Okay, very good. So this is LXN.
Yeah.
Are you able to RDP? So look
To
at
it.
your IPs and
I'll try that next.
thank you. And start with the second Windows server. It will take a little while first. And remember, you're doing it from inside HTML. We're using HTML5, which is really nice. So you have access to your computers from inside HTML. And it works fairly well. It's fast, it's efficient.
Yeah, I was able to RDP to a second VM from
Okay.
the first one.
Okay, go ahead and change your passwords, Alex. So you can run user manager, go to administrator, and change the password to administrator. Otherwise, the password is going to stay class123.
Okay.
And Alex B may log on and change the password for you.
Hey, Zico.
Yes, Anne.
It's telling me I cannot connect because the computer is unavailable.
Okay, let me take a look. So here, let me go back to the front. And your computer is powered on. Let me test it from my end. It's available.
I must have done something wrong then.
So let's make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So you're going to here, and what port number are you using?
3398.
3398. Let me see. And 3398. Is this what you're using?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it together. So let me do it. Okay. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna log on just like you did. And remote desktop. And it was 3398,
Yeah.
right? And this, is this correct?
I think I see what I did wrong.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Then you go ahead and do it.
Wait, can I see that IP again? There it is.
Okay, it's 100.72.0.28. And it's going to remember it when you come back.
If we, is the 107.2.0.28, is that the public IP to
Yes,
the main?
This is the public IP for that firewall.
Okay. If we had a home computer that we wanted to add to this, to our domain, would be able to use that?
No, you can't.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what I can do, and please everyone remember this. If you need another VM, let me know. I will create another VM for you. So when you start working in your project and you feel you have a need for a third Windows server, a third Windows 10, it will take me about 10-15 minutes to do that for each installation. And it's my job. So don't feel bad. Just say, Zico, I need, and I will create it for you.
Zico?
Because we have to stay inside this VDC. Yes.
Zico, I can't get access. They say no access right and Java language exception code 3001.
Oh, you're getting that error.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're getting this error down here.
Hold on, where?
You see, I'm
that one, yep.
Yeah, very good. No big deal. So it timed out. So go back here. Go back here and hit F5. And then it's gonna prompt you for account and password one more time. Okay, so the session timed out. And it's timing out sooner than I thought, but it's timing out. So whenever you see that error message, restart from here. So I'm gonna stay here for a while because if you guys can't access your VMs, you know, we're not gonna go very far. So go ahead and try it, and if you run into a problem, we will troubleshoot it together. I am your system administrator for today. I'm your system administrator for this virtual data center. Good. Everybody is here. So we have 15 of you, and so far, one person has told me they can access their VM. If you're running into problems, let me know. Alex B, are you with us? Mr. Buck? I'm okay just waiting for a bunch more minutes because we need to conquer this beast. This is your computing and this is your cat box for this course. And if you can't get to it, we have a problem. And I want you to do the work using these VMs. And this is what Planet Earth is doing today. So in a way, it's better than the cat box. Cat box is local, and we're moving away from everything local. We're moving to private clouds, public clouds, hybrid clouds. And each of these instances is an IaaS, infrastructure as a service, computing environment. And you can log on as administrator and do what you want.
Zico, I keep getting the same error. Even though I started,
What browser are you using?
Chrome.
Okay, so let me see. So you're getting here, right?
Hold on. Yes.
Okay, and then you're typing Zico, right?
Yep.
You got to redo this page. You have to redo that tab.
Hit F5, you mean?
I did.
Yeah.
I re-log into it. Yeah.
Okay, and then you clicked on remote desktop.
Yep.
And what's your port number?
3415.
3415.
Yes.
Okay. And you're using 100.72.0.28.
Yes.
And then you hit connect.
Yes. See?
Oh, you're right. Okay, let me try it again. So RDP. Three, 4, 1, 5.
Yes.
Yeah. How about the rest of you?
That's the same error I'm getting, it's Paul.
Okay.
Me too.
So that is a scalability issue. It's weird. They tested it for me. They said you can have 16 people log on. Weird.
I know that when I was running into that issue, I ended up having to restart my browser altogether.
Okay, can you please
before.
restart your browser?
Yeah, or try it from an incognito browser. That might
Okay.
work.
Okay, A or B?
I was able to access all my VMs and change all my passwords.
Thank you. So we have one success, and I'm in. I'm wondering if there's a limit on concurrent, but we tested 16 concurrent sessions. And remember, this is not our environment. Someone else is letting us use. And did they make a change afterward? Maybe, and I will escalate.
Restarting the browser worked for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Anne. Everybody, restarting the browser.
There you go.
I've never had to do this, but now we know how to work around that problem. So, Anne, are you able to log on?
Yes. I just
Okay.
need to change passwords now.
Nice. Success. Okay. And then RDP, RDC into your other 3 computers and change the passwords as well.
Zico.
Go ahead.
Cody's struggling with the same problem. He's having a hard time chatting back and forth. It causes him to have to reset. So he said he'll try another browser. Do you want me to tell him to try Firefox or something?
No, well, he could if he want to. He shouldn't have to. Ask him to exit the browser, come back and try it again. But I'm going to try it for him, okay? I'm going to see 3397. Just stay with me for a second.
Okay.
3397. Just to make sure it is working before. Okay, I need to restart my browser too.
Oh, on incognito.
Zico.
Okay, let me see if that works. And what was his port number? 3397. And I will escalate this issue. Okay, you see this, Kelly?
Yeah.
So it's working. So just have him go in as incognito. That way he doesn't have to restart his browser.
Okay.
And it should work.
Okay. I think he can hear this. I think, but I'll tell him in an email.
Okay. And thank you, Kelly,
No problem.
for everything you do. So who else is being successful? Avery, Paul, Noah, Ella, Cece.
So I can get to the login. This is Paul, but what do we put in for our username and password for the first time?
Okay, so you're logging onto your Windows server, right?
Correct.
Okay, so let's go back to the document, if you don't mind, and scroll down to the very first important. For Windows 10, the account is student. For the servers, the account is administrator, and the password is uppercase C class_123. Do you see it, Paul?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you bet. And I'm showing it to you that way. Next time in case there's a next time, you know where to go.
Zico.
Go ahead.
So Cody asked me to ask you, after I log in using Zico,
Yes.
I enter 100.72.0.28
Yes.
38397 in the gateway box.
Let me see. Hold on. So click on the remote desktop, and then in the port field.
Okay, because he can hear us.
Yeah, so the IP address, so hold on for 1 second. So after you log on to SparkView, click on the remote desktop. And then in the computer field, you enter that IP address 172.028. And then in the port, you enter your port. And then you go all the way down to the bottom and you click on connect. And you should be prompted. And the account is administrator. And the password is class_123, where C is uppercase.
Okay, I'm watching my computer screen.
Okay,
Because he heard that.
good.
He just can't communicate back.
CC, you're still there?
Yes, I am, Zico. I'm still getting the same error. I've been on incognito.
Did you restart your browser?
Yeah, I did.
Go into incognito.
I did that too. I'm doing that right now.
Okay, and you're still seeing the same error?
Yes.
Zico, I closed out mine because I tried to connect to one of the others to see if I could figure it out. And now even on mine, I'm getting that error.
Okay, let me exit. Maybe they set a limit. Let me exit my own and see if that would free one. So I'm gonna exit. Okay. And let's see if someone else can get in. So I guess this is the ultimate in stress testing. It worked when I logged on to 16 different computers from my computer, but having 16 different people is a different story. So we will fix it. Any success, anybody?
Zico?
Yes.
When trying to remote into my two Windows 10 computers, it doesn't allow me.
Hold on, so you're doing RDC, and then you are, right? And then you're typing 192.168.142.
Let me give that a shot. I was using the host name.
Don't use the host name. We don't have a DNS, everybody. So thank you, and this is good. So you have to use the IP address. We don't have a DNS with all these computer names in them. So IP only. And I'm glad you came across this end.
Yeah, I'm still getting the same error.
Okay, then we're gonna stop, and I will escalate and have them fix it. The good news is I know their manager, so they will be more motivated to fix it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so everybody, this is the document, and I will send out an update, and you can try later on when other people aren't logged on and see if you can get in. But this is challenge number 1, and we need to conquer this week, and we will continue this on Wednesday. So I'm gonna save. And were you able to RDP?
Yeah, that worked.
Okay, excellent. So I'm gonna come back here and let me see if there's anything else. Nope. So let me answer Frank's question. So I'm gonna come. So this is the virtual data center with all 68 VMs. and I'm going to go to Zico and log on from here. Okay. And I'm going to log on to Windows 10. And I will show you what I'm doing, everybody, and why I'm doing this. Okay. So let's look at RDC. I'm done with this. Here. So if I was to go to remote desktop, it's enabled. That's very good. Everybody pay attention, selected users, and look what it says. It says, the users listed below can connect to this computer, and any member of the administrators group can connect even if they are not listed. So they're saying that if you want to RDP into a computer, you have to use the administrator account or an account that is in the administrators group. Okay, and if not, then you have to add that person. This is why we have this add field in here, Frank, and then you say, okay, I'm going to allow Zico. Let's see if I have an account called Zico. I'm going to give Zico RDP access because Zico is not a member of the administrators group. Good. So if you want to RDP into a PC or into any computer, and you're using an account that is not a member of the administrators group, then you have to give them permission. And I want to show you one other thing, and then it will work. And the same thing is true for the PC. So if I was to go to Windows 10, this is on Windows 10. And I like to believe we've talked about this in CS240A and remote. Okay. And here we go. Select users. Everybody, same thing. So student is a member of the administrators group. If I wanted Zico or Jack or CC to be able to RDP, and CC is not a member of the administrators group or the remote access group, then I would have to add them. And there's one more thing I want to show you. And we've looked at all of these before, but it's important that we refresh our memories. So GP edit, this is on the PC, not MSC. And you guys remember this. This is the local group policy editor. And we spent some quality time here in A, and we will do the same in B. And I'm going to go to Windows settings. I'm going to go to security. I'm going to go to local policies. And I'm going to go to user rights. And let's find allow log on through remote desktop. This is what we're talking about here. And the administrators group and the remote desktop users group. So we have these two groups, administrators and remote desktop users. And according to this policy, okay, according to the user rights policy, those are the only two groups that are allowed to RDP into the machine. So any account that is a member of administrators, and before, when I said allow this additional user, that additional user would be added to the remote desktop users. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let me panel. So if I was to add a second user here, I'm not making them administrators because that doesn't make sense. You don't really want to make those users administrators. So let me see if I can do guest. Everybody? Okay, you see guest over here, and I'm gonna click on OK, OK, and I'm gonna minimize this, and I'm gonna show you the policy one more time. Allow logon through remote desktop services, either administrators or remote desktop users. And let's go to a user manager and see what we did. Groups, remote desktop users, and you see guest everybody, and you see student. Frank, does this make sense?
Yeah, and I did all that, and then it might, and I tried to do that through the GPO,
Yes.
and it didn't ever take, and I've checked my Windows 10s, and they have the GPO, but it just never worked. I had to go into the Windows 10 and manually add in my
Very good.
test
So when you
client.
manually added it, did it work?
Yeah, when I went into the Windows 10 and manually added it in, it worked, but
You were saying you couldn't use a GPO to do this.
yeah, I tried to do it the right way, but
Okay.
I had to force it.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if and I did everything exactly as you did, and it just didn't work. Maybe, and I tried to restart them, but maybe since it's been a couple of days, I need to see if maybe it's actually populated.
Okay, that would be a good thing. And I'm sure you remember GP result and see if that GPO was applied. And remember, in order to do this, you needed administrator capability. So you have to have an account that has administrator capability in order for them to do this. Am I making sense, Frank? So if you have a GPO and the GPO is going to require administrator capability, then you have to log onto the computer with admin capability to see what it did.
And I did that because that's the only way that I could connect in was
Okay.
through the administrator account
Then
until I manually added in my test account.
Still, I think this is a useful exercise. So I'm glad you knew all of this, Frank. Good for you. But this is a useful exercise because I want to make sure you can RDP, and I wanted to explain this. So worst case, you can do it manually, which is exactly what I did here. And then you can do it yourself on your other computers, so you could RDP into them. And I can repeat myself, but I'm not going to because I showed you that. You either have to be members of the administrators group, or you have to be a member of the remote desktop users group, or you can go back here and manually add, whichever account you want. And that would be like a shortcut. I don't recommend it, but it would work because you're saying, and Zico is also allowed to remote desktop into this computer. Any questions on what we did?
Zico, sorry.
Go ahead. No, sorry. No need for that.
Some long time, lag in time. So Cody got logged in, but he keeps getting the Java error that everyone else was getting.
Yes.
So is this the time he should try to go incognito, right?
He could, except absolutely have him try. And it is a known problem, and I'm going to have to escalate and see if we can get it resolved today.
Okay.
So it may work, it may not work. So have him try a couple of times, but then if he continues to hit this wall, stop. And I will escalate to Infoblox.
So he did get in. He had to do some adjustments for accessibility.
Okay.
Going in on the command line.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was 1 minute ago that he said that he was going to do the incognito. So
okay. So the incognito worked for him.
I don't know. He hasn't got back to me yet.
Okay.
So he's working on, I'm sure he's emailing on his phone and working on his computer.
I see. Just let him know that it's a known problem and we're going to work on fixing it today. And
Okay.
I will send out an update.
Yeah, he can hear you.
Okay. So we're doing a review, and everything we've done today is a review. So we've been focusing a lot on RDC and RDP, which is good. Because that's how you remotely access many of those services.
Ezekiel?
Yes, Anne.
I'm still having trouble getting into my Windows 10 machines. It's telling me I have the wrong password. It still is class_123, right?
With an uppercase C.
Yeah, it's not accepting that.
Okay, let's try it. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go to the beginning. Oh, you know what? I should be able to do it from right here. I just want to see what your IP is. What's your IP address?
It's 192.168.142.
42. Okay. So, oh, you okay? So, hold on. You're trying to log on as administrator to your Windows 10, and
yeah,
it's a student.
Oh.
So, yep, it's okay. It's all right. These are the kind of problems we want to resolve quickly. So change it, you know, click on use a different account, select student, and you should be okay. And tell me if not.
That worked.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay. So I will take care of this issue and then I will let you know. And remember, this is not my cluster. So we have to go to Infoblox and they've been responsive and hopefully they can take care of this fairly quickly. Okay. So let me come back here. Okay. This is something we're not going to do today, everybody, but I wanted to ask you, did you want me to walk you through the process one more time, or do you remember how to do this from CS240A? So in CS240A, we installed ADDS, we promoted the computer to a data center, we created a domain, we created a second domain controller, we joined the Windows 10 machines to your domain. Do you guys need help with this, or do you feel comfortable doing it in your own?
I think we should refresh it.
Okay, then we will do this, if not Wednesday, the following Monday for sure. So we will do this. And Cece, if you don't mind, we can use your environment to do this.
Yeah, sure.
Because I already did it on my environment, and I'm just going to leave it alone, but we can use one of your environments to do this. So we will do it using CC's environment, either Wednesday or the following Monday, a week from today. Okay, so we've covered all of this. Okay, we've done all of this. So let's talk about projects. And that will be it for today. And then we'll do the slides on Wednesday. And hopefully you will be able to log on and change your passwords between now and Wednesday, so we don't have to redo this on Wednesday, unless you're having problems, unless the password is incorrect, you're unable to get to a box. And you can send me an email too, and I can troubleshoot and let you know. So I know some of you enjoyed the teamwork in CS240A, and some of you didn't enjoy the teamwork in CS240A. How would you like to proceed from here? I think after coronavirus, working remotely, virtually with your team members is going to be the norm. And this is what 95% plus of all office workers are doing today. And it is a skill set that none of us are born with. So it's a skill set that you have to acquire along the way. And this is a school. And I keep saying, I want to teach you skills that are going to be useful in your future job. And I believe this will be a very useful skill. The teamwork skill is very useful, and working, collaborating virtually is very, very important. And like I said in my very first email, the coronavirus is rapidly expediting the transformation to a virtual world. We've always had people work remotely. The last 3 years I worked for HP, I worked from this very office for 3 years, except now 95% plus of all office workers are working remotely. We've had online schools for many years, and now all schools are online, including K-12. And I can go on and on. If you want to see your doctor today, it's not going to be an office visit unless you have an open wound or something like this. It will probably be over your smartphone, etc. So this is the new brave world, and we all have to learn. We all have to adapt. That's the key word. We all have to adapt, because we know what Stephen Hawking said. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to a changing environment. And our environment has changed drastically over the last few weeks. And we have to adapt. And that means virtually, remotely, etc. So I'm going to stop with my lecture, and I want your input. What do you guys want? Do you prefer to work independently or in teams?
Do we get any input on what our team will be? Do we get to choose our teams?
A limited input. I'm not going to give each of you the option of selecting your team members, because we know what happens. Remember when you were in middle school and you could choose your team? The other team always lost. So we're not going to do that. So I will take input, but I have to balance the teams. I'm not going to have unbalanced teams. It's not fair.
Well, I don't quite understand how it's unfair, because if there's a group of us that, you know, are at least good or competent with some of it, and we want to try to do something a lot more complicated, then it would benefit us to have a, you know, a team that we're used to working with, or people that we know that are capable of, you know, doing parts that we need, versus other people who might need a less involved project than what some of us might want to do.
I hear you loud and clear, and I will consider your request, but I'm not saying I will give you the team members that you want, because I go back to my earlier point. We all know who we're going to choose to be in our teams. And
I think you learn better on your own, if that's the case.
Okay. And like I said, Alex, I'm open to having some people learn on their own. So
well, I'm confused. Is it some people will be on teams and some people will be solo, or are we making a choice between teams and solo projects?
Very good. We're talking about A, B, and C. A being everyone working on a team, B being everyone working independently, and C, we have a hybrid model. So I'm open. I don't want to make a dictatorial decision and say, thou, and these are your team members, good luck. And I'm open to working on your own. The one thing I'm not open to is those are the two people I want on my team, because we know who you're going to choose. And it wouldn't be fair for everybody else, because they're going to learn from the more skilled people. So if you were to pair less skilled with more skilled, the less skilled is going to learn from the more skilled. And
I don't think that's partly true. I get some people, yes, will want to, but there's also some people, and I'm not saying that there's anyone in a class like this, just that are going to let other people carry them.
So before we assign individual projects to each other, because let's go back to Moodle for a minute, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to Moodle and go down to class projects and click on class project ideas. Okay. So remote desktop became more popular just in the last few weeks, because we can't give everybody a computer to take home, but we can give them a virtual environment to access from home. So this is a hot service right now. So these are the ideas that are currently on the table. I'm open to other ideas as long as I feel that they are in scope and sufficiently complex. But let's not select projects right now. Let's leave this for later on. So could I ask each of you to send me an email saying I want to work independently, or I would like to work on a team, and these are the people I want to work with, and I will see what I can do. And then we can review it on Wednesday or no later than Monday. Is that fair?
Yeah.
But don't tell me what project you want to work on yet. We will tackle this next. Let's see who's going to work independently, who wants to be in a team. And I'm thinking about teams of 2. Somebody thought that was funny. Okay. So teams of 2, everybody. So, and you can say, this is my first choice, this is my second choice. I'm okay with that. And this is private. Everybody, I'm not gonna say, okay, Frank, told me this is his first choice and this is his second choice, but I will keep this in private and I will see what can be done, and then we'll go from here. Is that fair?
Yes, Zico, thank you.
Can you send it to me today? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I can put a table together for Wednesday and then we can take a look. Because I would like to have these teams created and agreed upon in week 2. So you will have, 7 weeks to do your work. Okay. And we will recreate the Active Directory, if not Wednesday, Monday at the very latest. My highest priority is to make sure you can access your VMs, change the passwords, etc. And I will work on this next. Any questions? Anybody? So sorry about the...
One more thing, just got an email, sorry.
Yes.
The default password is administrator?
No. For the 2 servers, the account is administrator. The default password is class_123 with C being uppercase.
Okay.
And for the Windows 10 machines, the default account is student, same password.
Okay.
And this is the first important below the table in that file we were looking at a few minutes ago.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure. So sorry about the VM access issues. I will work on this one next. Thank you, everybody, very, very much. I really appreciate you being present on this online class, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, Zico.
Have a great afternoon.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Zico.
You're welcome.
Thank you.